Please don't call. And of course, a disclaimer, since we are talking about guarantees for insured products by some of the great insurance companies, we always have to mention the guarantees are provided by the full faith and claims paying ability of the underlying insurance carrier. That's the public service announcement for any compliance individuals. And tell you the truth, it should be quite common information. In other words, if your car is stolen, does the FDIC cover your car? Of course not. If your house burns down, does the FDIC build you a new house? No. The ironic part is FDIC stands for what? Federal Depository Insurance. FDIC is an insurance company. So let's be clear on that. All right, enough of the legal data. Here's the bottom line. For a 60-year-old individual with $1 million, qualified 401 IRA, etc., I'm going to give you 5 years. Let's say Blair, I'm retiring in 5 years. My advisor told me we're going to average 6%. I give you a 6% paying fee. So we know you're going to have to average at least 7.5 to net save. Lose any money, and your $1 million in 5 years, by the way, is worth $1,338,226. Okay? Now you got to determine how much of that you're going to spend. Some people actually still believe, dissension on this, the 4% rule.
Yeah.
We heard that professor, I believe he said 2.36, which is pretty scary. But let's use the 4% rule. So once again, that $1 million, stocks, etc., alternatives, REITs, ETFs, you can spend about $53,529 with certainty, not really, but good possibility you won't run out of money. Okay, that's assuming you earn 6, you spend 4, you don't get too vaporized along the way. To me, that's a complete waste of time. So the Forte formula tells me buy income, invest the difference. So you will have to have $1 million hostage to that account. Is that true, Phil?
Yeah, I suppose. Yes.
Well, you have to stay fully invested if you want the $53,000, right?
Of course.
So people say, well, wait a second, Blair. I have, because we're going to show you the annuity comparison. So the first word that comes up is, Blair, the surrender charges, that surrender period, that's criminal. My advisor says never use an annuity because of the surrender period. And this is when I say, well, it's quite clear the advisor, he or she, is not only not a retirement specialist, they're probably not insurance licensed. Okay, so let's understand surrender period and penalty. Every asset has a penalty. That's right, folks. So your big box firms, that $1 million you put in January, it's worth about $750,000 or $800,000 today. Isn't that sort of like a surrender penalty, Phil?
Right. That's exactly what it is.
Right, but they don't call it. And as a fee-based money manager, a surrender penalty, I just call it decline in value. So let's just level the playing field. There is a surrender charge on any annuity ever issued in the history of the world that would have been 25% year one. Okay, so math. You're going to tie $1 million up and try to spend $53,000 with absolutely no guarantees. I can go to one of the great insurance companies, place that hours, and be guaranteed $92,570. $53,529 versus 92. How much more income is that really? 92, 39. Yeah, it's 75% more income. So here's where it gets powerful. I know some of you are driving, some of you are sitting phones, but let me show you the power of this formula. We've already established you have to keep $1 million invested to get $40,000. If I want $40,000 from one of my clients and we're planning to tie up, I take $40,000 and divide it by 9.2%, I only need $434,000. Wait a second. I just created some crazy liquidity, didn't I, Phil?
You did. Absolutely, you did.
Actually, $566,000 that you can travel the world with. You can go buy a car, a boat, do whatever you want to do, build a second home. That's called liquidity. You have no car. That's right. You can go buy a car, but now you don't have the $1.3 million that you said. Now you got $1.2 million paying your 4%, so your income just dropped 5%. It is that simple. We want to use the least. See, advisors, you've all been watched by Wall Street, which I understand they've been sending the message for half a century. Put all your money into these different buckets: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, alternatives, REITs, etc. You name it, and we're going to try to grow it and also spend money. That is it's going to the hardware store for milk. Stocks were meant to grow. They're fantastic accumulation income tools. It's been said by 3 Nobel Prize winners, by multiple Wharton professors, by Anita and Brian Quinn. All the people who study retirement planning will tell you want predictable income. Half of this country is paralyzed right now. Why? Because they don't know how much they can spend. They don't know if they should or get out. They are sitting at the casino table with their life savings of 30 years with zero plan. Because that plan they thought they had, guess what? It blew up in the first few months of this year.
Well, and I want to make something clear to people. We were just talking about surrender charges, and that's a big fear for people with some of these strategies and some of these tools. But you have to understand that when Blair does a complete analysis of everything you have, he makes sure that you have liquidity and money, and that you are creating this income in a way that is not going to hurt you at all. It's only going to help. It doesn't lock your money away in the way that other advisors will make you think. They'll put that fear into your mind. That's not the way it works. He looks at your complete portfolio and strategizes with you, and all we're saying is needs to be protected and needs to create the income in the best possible way with the highest possible rate of return. That is all that is happening here. I know I sound emphatic, but it's because I want you to understand what we're about, and I want you to feel comfortable with what we're about. It is a completely transparent process. When I sat down with you probably have, when you first hear us talking about this stuff, I had the exact same thoughts, and I'm telling you, get clear on all this stuff, because it's going to make a huge difference to you in retirement. All right, you need to take a break, but identifying at your bottom line. My name is Bill John Grande. If you need help building a plan designed to make sure your money lasts throughout your if you've saved $250,000 or more for retirement and need help making some really big decisions, be one of the first 15 callers right now at 800-499-1658. That's 800-499-1658. Your free CPR, that's a custom portfolio review with Blair. Now, Blair will do this either, you can do it virtually or in his will. During this appointment, Blair will address the 6 cornerstones of the Forte formula, which include income planning, tax planning, long-term care planning, Social Security planning, and estate planning, as well as legacy planning. You can also visit Blair at his website at Retirement Through, that's THRU, design.com for more information. So again, give Blair a call today at 800-499-1658. That's 800-499-1658. If you're one of the first 15 calls, where he lays everything out for you. It is absolutely worth your time to get educated. You're listening to the Financial Bottom Line. My name is Phil Giovanni. I'm with, as always, wealth planner and strategist, founder of Retirement Through Design and Forte Formula, and best-selling author of Hercules. Remember, great retirements, happy to see you later.
Is your retirement plan based on flawed assumptions? Here's Aronson, radio host and best-selling author with Steve Forbes.
This is where our Forte formula shows its real power, because number one, cash flow rates, for example, a 60-year-old with $1 million at age 70 is guaranteed cash flow $120,000 for life. That is a 12% rate of cash flow. And by the way, if that individual should have any health issues, needing in-home or long-term care, $30,000. So I invite you to come in, get educated, and see the power of the Forte formula.
Make sure your retirement plan gives you the income you expect and need. Talk with Blair Aronson at Retirement Through Design.
Remember, the ultimate outcome.
I'm talking with Blair Aronson, founder of Retirement Through Design. Blair, a lot of people believe that all they have to do to have a comfortable retirement is accumulate a lot of wealth, but you say there's more to factor in.
Well, the problem is distribution is completely different than accumulation. When people say, so Blair, share with me the Forte formula, in a nutshell, it's simply, I can show you how to increase your predictable income 25 to 35% without additional risk. That's the power of the Forte formula.
25 to 40% more predictable income. For more information about protecting your investments with Blair's exclusive Forte formula, log on to retirementthroughdesign.com. That's retirementtrudesign.com. Then call Blair for your complimentary portfolio stress test at 800-499-1658. 800-499-1658.
Best-selling author. Blair, welcome back. Let's dive into this is a short segment, but I want to go into what say, okay, what is their experience been? So, do you have any interesting cases that you've had come into your office?
Well, I have one case. This actually was just over the phone. This just the show, so you've been listening for a while. 82-year-old individual had annuity with one of the largest insurance companies in existence, been around for quite a long time. And he said, I was curious to see if maybe I could do better with one of your plans. I said, sure. It was literally a 12 told me and sent me the statement. He had $280,000 in this plan, with a surrender value of $280,000. And he was getting $23,000 a year, and they said for life.
Okay.
So I pulled out my software. I'm always joking. Phil.
Yeah.
I have to be able to prove that I can show the client the best that's available. Not a company I like, somebody that gave me basketball tickets. It has to be provable in a court of law. I have the best available plans for any clients. Okay, so in a matter of less than certainly 4 minutes, I crank up my equally as reputable insurance companies, starting income immediately for that $288,000 to be $34,000 for life.
Wait, how is it immediately? So
this is what's called an immediate annuity. There's no deferral period. The income starts within 30. Just the power of what we did by his phone call. 34 hours more income per year. It's an 47% cash flow. And by the way, his son structure of these policies, the payments will continue until every penny paid out to somebody. It matters not. Because everybody's heard this story from, oh Blair, I heard a friend who had a friend who told somebody about they knew somebody who had given an insurance agent $100,000 for an immediate, got a check, and then they passed away, and the insurance company kept the money. That's right. To choose that option, which is called life only, your life plan. Right? To me, it's a sucker bet. But the point is that we increased his income by almost 50%, no time lapse before the new income. Just doing some paperwork. So I encourage you, if you have an that you like, hate, etc., have somebody review it. I've been doing this, I'm proud to say, that I sold the very first ever index annuity. I was still in Wall Street. It was February 1995. So nobody's been doing this longer than I have because I sold the very first one. Okay? So let's just keep the questions coming, meeting some great individuals, really engaging with some fantastic new clients. But it all starts with somebody who is just concerned with their present position financially.
Yeah. We have to end the show, but if you've saved $250,000 or more for retirement and need help making these decisions, you need to review what you have already in place. That's fine too. Be one of the first 15 callers though at 800-499-1658. That's 800-499-1658 to schedule your free CPR. That's a custom portfolio review with Blair. Blair will show you how to get off the financial cliff you're standing on. And it can be done virtually, or it can be done in Blair's Women's office. But during this appointment, Blair will address the 6 cornerstones of the Forte formula, which include income planning, tax planning, long-term care planning, social security planning, estate planning, as well as legacy planning. You can also visit Blair at his website at retirementthrough, that's THRU, design.com. Again, give Blair a call today, 800-499-1658. That's 800-499-1658 for your free CPR custom portfolio review. Remember, there is no greater wealth in the world than people. My name is Phil Grande, and I'm with, as always, wealth planner and strategist, founder of Retirement Through Design and Forte. For Blair Harrison. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Phil.
The opinions voiced in this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To consult with your own investment, tax, and legal experts prior to investing.
LA conservatives, you're out there. California has the highest tax rate in the country, but some of the infrastructure, where's that money going? The Patriot, AM 1150.
Hello, Fremont. Eric, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. I started Madison Reed to give you the most gorgeous hair color made with ingredients you can feel good about. Our at-home hair color, but big news. We now have over 80 locations nationwide where we color your hair for you. And now we have a grand opening of our newest hair color bar at Pacific Commons. Salon results without salon cost and time. Let one of our professional stylists take care of all over color, loose, gloss, highlights, and book an appointment for fast and fabulous hair color at our newest hair color bar at Pacific Commons. For a limited time, grand opening special for new clients, get 20% off your first hair color service at a Madison Reed hair color bar. Visit madison-reed.com/Fremont. That's madison-reed.com/Fremont. Try it, love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Binge listen this and all your artist